This is Let's Just Talk with Hammi, Art and Soul Edition. We have some amazing performances for you. I'm gonna step out and they're gonna step in, and you're about to get a treat. Oh, Splinter, could you be there for me like you said you'd be? In my bones are thinner, and I'm starting to lose what I'm supposed to leave. Oh, stained glass leaves falling down. They'll break into threes on the ground. Steadily watch the sound. Hear all the colors of town. If only the clocks were rewound. Oh, the cold winter. The mold grows old on the dead John Street. It has the boulder wither. The stone grabs a hold on my gray bruised feet. Oh, stained glass leaves falling down. They'll break into threes on the ground. Steadily watch the sound. Hear all the colors of town. If only the clocks were rewound. And I'm dying when I hear you say, here comes 21. I wouldn't mind it if the splinters stay put while I was young. But the stained glass leaves keep falling down. They break into threes on the ground. And steadily I still watch the sound and hear all the colors of now. If only the clocks were rewound.
Nobody's perfect, but you treat me like you expect me to be. How ironic, girl, don't you agree? Suffocation now, I cannot breathe. Can't be with you if I can't be me. No, I can't be free. Eyes are wide open, but I cannot see all these red flags right in front of me. I cannot breathe, no, I cannot. I cannot, no, I cannot breathe. Eyes are wide open, but you'll never see. I cannot breathe, no, I cannot. Losing myself in you, baby. I'm losing myself in you, baby. Why is our love so damn crazy? Tell me, baby, tell me, baby. I'm losing myself in you, baby. Losing myself in you, baby. Why is our love so damn crazy? Tell me, baby, oh, oh.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Let's Just Talk with Hammi. My name is Kristin, and I will be your co-host today, along with Leen. We are joined today by Luis Ortiz and Max Morton. Can you tell me a little bit more about yourselves?
Sure, I'll go first.
Good.
My name is Luis. My stage name, musically, I go by Cardo. I am a fourth-year criminal justice and psychology student at Northeastern. I'm born and raised in Boston. Some of my musical influences are The Weeknd, Black, Bryson Tiller, big R&B guy, and yeah, happy to be here.
Thank you.
My name is Max. I'm a second-year music industry student with a songwriting minor, and I'm from Evanston, Illinois. And some of my I'm a singer, songwriter, and guitar player, blues and jazz guitar player. And some of my songwriting influences are some folkier people like Bob Dylan or Adrian Lenker, but I also listen to a lot of neo-soul stuff such as Erykah Badu and D'Angelo and that stuff as well. So.
Okay, so throughout this episode, it's very special because we're going to be playing a game called Word Sneak. So everyone here got 3 words, and they just need to try and incorporate those words into the conversation casually without letting anyone catch on. So now I'll ask everyone to open their first word, and we'll begin.
Oh. This feels like a really big paper for this small amount of text on here.
Okay.
Are we supposed to share the word? No.
No.
Okay.
You casually bring it into the conversation.
Cool.
And then do we announce that that was our word? Let's do that.
Yeah. Dope.
Okay, you can start with the questions.
Okay. So you mentioned that you have a stage name.
Yes.
Could I get the background behind that?
Yeah, so my first name is actually Luis Ricardo. So I don't have a middle name. I use Ricardo as my middle name.
Oh, I see.
And for a while, I kind of didn't like the way that Ricardo sounded when people would refer to me as like Luis Ricardo or just Ricardo. And it wasn't until one of my friends actually started using the nickname Cardo, which is just the back end of Ricardo, and I kind of really liked it, like the way that it sounded. And as an artist, I was looking for a name. Luis Ortiz is a beautiful name, but it's very common. So I just started kind of going by Cardo, and it just stuck.
I really like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I listened to both your music, and it's incredible. I kind of want to know what got you started, and your journey, your story. Where did it start, and how'd you wind up where you are making the music that you're making?
Okay, cool.
Go ahead.
So I actually had a funny. I don't really talk about it too often because there's a weird thing where people hear how many years you've been playing an instrument and then won't play with you based off that before they actually hear you play.
That sucks.
So I usually don't talk about it, but since we're here, I might as well. So basically, I started teaching myself guitar during quarantine.
Oh, nice.
And just completely fell in love with it. I was getting ready to and did for a year wrestle in college, and that was kind of my thing. And then I picked up the guitar during quarantine just that I found in my mom's closet that hadn't been used in a long time.
Oh, wow.
And decided to start playing, and then it was like a complete love affair, and I started playing. I mean, quarantine, it was like I had nothing better to do, so I was playing 10 hours like all day, every
Holy
day
shit.
for a long time. So it definitely helped me a lot. And then I went to school to wrestle, and then my love for music kept going up and sports kept kind of fading out. And then I decided to come out here to keep doing the music stuff, and then started really getting into songwriting and and then started playing guitar for people in bands and such, and kind of getting that thing going. So that's kind of been. I've always been really into music, but in terms of actually playing, it's been, just about two years now as of March. So.
Very cool.
Yeah, recent.
Wait, sorry, just a follow-up question. I mean, what does music do for you? Why do you feel like music is the thing? Because you mentioned that, sports faded away and then you lean into music. I mean, what was that doing in your life?
I've never really had a creative outlet before.
Uh-huh.
And so I think that songwriting was like the craziest thing to me. 'Cause I was like, holy shit, like I can like write down how I feel on paper and turn it into something that sounds beautiful.
Wow.
And that's so cool.
Uh-huh.
And it was always like, brute force and sports and fighting people, and which is great, but but I kind of lost that like competitiveness, and once I really started getting into music, and then especially into songwriting, and started reading a lot of poetry and like listening to lyrics and writing poetry, and I was like, this is like really, really, it's its own thing in terms of expression. So I'd never had anything like that before, and so ever since I started, I just like fully fell in love with it, because I'd never had any type of way to share myself that deeply. So yeah.
That's incredible, and I can imagine how that would give you like a deeper understanding and like, I don't know, of how your state at any given moment, as in like,
I'm very self-aware, much more self-aware than I ever was before I started playing music. And the whole playing guitar in itself was like my first, like that in itself, you can fully express yourself without saying any words either, which is also amazing. So kind of using both of those to tell a story is like, I don't know, I just find it very, very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
That's beautiful. I mean, that's art,
Yeah.
So for me, I can kind of echo a little bit of the sentiments as to why Max decided to go into music. But music has always been a part of my life, in some way, shape, or form. I grew up in a very musical family. My father has been a professional background salsa singer ever since I was born. He still does it. Don't know when he's gonna retire. But like I've just always been in and around music. I was just never really outward in my expression of it. As a kid, I kind of had a lot of trouble with explaining and really being in touch with my feelings and emotions, no matter what the emotion was: sadness, happy, joy, jealousy. Like, it doesn't matter what the feeling was. I always had a tough time really, understanding and being able to express that without being like, impulsive or just going about it the wrong way. And it wasn't until I started writing my feelings down that I really started to, it was my coping mechanism, right? So when I was sad, I would just write. At first, it would just be just sentences, nothing music, nothing poetic. And then I started to formulate them in ways that they read more like poems, right? And then through that, I just said, well, if I can write a poem, why not write a song? And then, I started songwriting probably like 10 years ago.
Wow.
And been doing it ever since. But like I said, it was more for me. Like, people didn't know that I was a songwriter. People didn't know that I liked to sing. I was a dancer a little bit. I would dance. I dabbled in DJing a little bit. But it wasn't until a couple of years ago, really, in which I started, like, performing and showing other people, like, hey, this is something that I do. This is a part of me. And, it's kind of just taken a life of its own, and now I'm looking forward to seeing where it takes me.
That's so cool. I mean, I haven't done anything for, you said 10 years? Yeah. Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, the depth of understanding and like that you must have, like when it comes to songwriting, and the evolution that just your experience has given you, like throughout. I mean, what are some things you've learned throughout like the 10 years that you've been writing songs, or like things that you've developed, or?
Oh man.
Yeah. Yes.
when I first started writing, it was absolutely horrible.
Really?
Like, it was bad. Like I was.
Can you give us an example?
Oof. I don't know if I want to go.
That's okay.
That deep into the bag, but when I first started, it was more like rappy stuff. Like I would just rap. I'm not a rapper. I don't consider myself a rapper. I can write raps, but in terms of performing them, I just don't got it. That's just my thing. I'm aware of that. But like, yeah, just I would study, you know, music and just listen and just, you know, how did people, you know, why did they choose to put the chorus there and the verse there rather than doing it the other way? Playing with different instruments, sounds. Yeah, like I've developed a lot. I think there's still, you know, I think we can both agree that you can always get better. You can always improve. You can always learn more. So, like I said, I'm excited to see where I can get. I think that I am a good writer, but I'm always looking to you know, get better and to learn more and to just, you know, be the best that I can be.
No, yeah, of course.
Okay, so going off of what you just said, you said that you studied basically like other artists and like the way they formulated their music and stuff. So if you got the chance to collaborate with an artist, who would you collaborate with and why?
That's a good question.
I feel like I've been talking a lot. You want to take this one? Or?
Okay, yeah. Oh, man. I would have to say... Can I give 2 answers?
Go ahead.
No.
I would say I would, over anything, to jam, to sit down and play guitar with Jimi Hendrix.
Wow.
Would be like the craziest. That's, if only, too bad. That would be my number one big thing, would just to be able to sit down with Jimmy and play with him. And then also to sit somewhere in the woods with Adrienne Lenker, who's the head of the lead of one of my favorite bands called Big Thief, and she also has her own solo career. And it's very like introspective folk music. It's super poetic and like super intense, but it's like so beautiful. And her lyrics are insane, so to like sit in the same room and write a song with her, those would be like the 2 sides of my like musical interests. But Jimmy is like
Number one.
yeah.
I have so many. Well, The Weeknd is my favorite artist. He was one of my first introductions to American, well, I guess he's Canadian, but music in the English language. My first language was Spanish. I'm from Puerto Rico. So yeah, The Weeknd, he's just one of my biggest influences. His music got me through a lot of like what I was talking about with my emotions and stuff, and he was one of those artists that I really, you know, went to and studied, because his music, when he first came out, it was so different. It was so unique. And growing up in Boston, there really wasn't that artist who, like, you know, look up to. We have like New Edition, Belle Biv DeVoe, we have Cousin Stiz, but like they all made it in a sense, but none to like the level of like wow. So like the way that he was able to create his own sound is something that I kind of want to emulate, because like Boston, I feel like we don't really have a sound.
Yeah.
Right.
I
so
agree.
I would just love to sit with him, work, and more than work, just like talk, and just get to, you know, just get as much seeds of wisdom of, you know, how did this come about? Like, how did you just get into the studio and just do this beautiful but ugly and dark sound that just kind of turned into what it is now. So yeah, probably The Weeknd.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I feel like Boston, I've heard this a lot. That Boston doesn't have much of like an art scene, or I guess a music scene, I suppose.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's awesome to just have you guys here making the art that you're making, you know, and creating a culture. So that's sick. On that note, what's your favorite dinosaur?
Mine would be let me just make sure I'm opening the right one. The ones that were in the tropical areas. Those are that's also not the right one. This one.
The
The
Stegosaurus.
tropical, Stegosaurus is known to be in the tropical areas, I believe. So.
Yeah.
Very
There's that
nice.
one for me.
Boston was one of my words.
Oh,
Oh, shit.
that's a good one, dude.
Yeah,
Very nice.
But
Well done.
Didn't even announce it.
T-Rex.
Really?
Yeah.
T-Rex.
T-Rex.
A classic.
Big dog.
It's kind of basic,
Big
but
dog.
I feel like it's just misunderstood.
Misunderstood. Gentle giant.
Yeah.
T-Rex.
For sure.
His
If
little
only he
arms.
got his hands on some song lyrics.
Right.
Yeah. So, let's consult the questions.
Insult the question.
So how do you engage with your fans?
Oh man.
Or, I
I
mean,
don't know if I have fans yet.
and okay, I mean, what do you hope to your fan base to look like? You know, like how big do you want to get one day? You know, how do you want people to relate to your music? Max?
So I mean, well, to answer the first question, I've been kind of trying to, I've more of just been playing as much as I can live, whether that be guitar for other people or my solo stuff, and kind of just meeting people at those shows and through that, you know, hoping to make a good impression on one or two people every time I play a live show, and hopefully that means they'll come back to the next one and kind of just keep building off that. And that's slowly been working. I've been slowly kind of, that's been fun just to, I don't know, you meet people and they want to become friends with other musicians that want to come see your shows, and you go see their shows, and it's fun.
Absolutely.
And then to answer the second question, I actually think about it a lot. I actually don't really have any interest in being like a big like pop musician. Well, one, the type of music I make, it's practically impossible anyway. So it's like it's not necessarily like in the spotlight at all times. It's you can play some big venues, but you'll never be on the cover of magazines, which is okay with me. I kind of just like, I love the idea of like, sorry. I love the idea of like playing for like intimate rooms of people and like really like connecting with an audience. And also I love the idea of playing guitar for someone else and not really being the star of the show, and kind of just being able to sit back and just hang out and not have the stress on you. So for me, I'm just like, I really just want, as long as I'm playing music, the rest, as long as I can just make a living doing it, I think that would be. And if not, then not. But if I had it my way, I have enough fans that it's an honest relationship between my fans and I. And like, it's not even like fans, it's just like people that relate to what I'm saying and hear me and have mutual respect, and then that's all I could probably hope for.
I feel like, excuse me, I feel like both you guys, your music is very rooted in like a lack of ego, as in it's very much not about you as the star, but your music and the people that you're able to like connect with through the art. I really like that.
So you'd rather be at home with your dog playing guitar?
Yeah, for sure. I miss my dogs at home. Yes. Okay. Shout out to Ringo and Lady, my two favorite little dogs. But, yeah, I like love the peacefulness of just like hanging out by myself and playing guitar. And the feeling of that when you're on stage is when it's not a massive room of people, you know? And like, obviously, I would love to play in front of huge audiences, but I guess I'm trying to say it's just not at all the priority. Like, some people like want to be a musician because they want to be like famous, or they want to like. But I like just like love playing music. Like, that's just so fun for me. So if like in any way possible, if I can make enough money, or it's not even just, as long as I can support myself, and ideally travel and see the world, because like for me that's would be the coolest part about being a musician, is being able to basically get paid to travel. Like when you're touring, you're basically just getting paid to just go play music in different places around the world. So like that's best case scenario for me. That's all that matters really.
And Lewis?
Yeah.
A fan base, what does that look like for you?
Similar to Max, since I started making music for me, I never really necessarily had music you know, as like the forefront in terms of like, this is gonna be my life. Like I said, I just like made music for me. So like, if for some reason I release a song and it blows up, and it's just like, you know, I made it, then you know, I'll get there. Like, cool. Like, I'll get there. I'll get there when I get there. But in reality, I want to make music that people like, that people can listen to and you know, feel the feelings that I'm trying to convey throughout my music. And I also want to make music that kind of appeals to people from all walks of life. You know, whether if you're for a kid from Boston like me, or a woman in Tijuana who who enjoys my music. Like I just want to make music for people who think like me. Not necessarily who look like me, who act like me, but people who share the same feelings, share the same emotions, or don't, and want to see what a look into that world looks and feels like.
Yeah, very much speaking to just the human experience, I suppose. Yeah, the universal human experience.
Or cat experience.
Oh.
So we've all listened to your music. It sounds really amazing.
Thank you.
Do you guys plan on like exploring other genres when creating your music, or are you like planning to stick with what you know and what you're good at?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always into diversifying my palette, you know. Like, my favorite food is mac and cheese, but like, I don't mind, you know, dabbling into different foods, different cultures. So primarily R&B, that's my style, but I have been wanting to dive into some urban Latino music, as I am a Puerto Rican man myself. I've been trying to dabble into like some disco, some 80s vibes, seeing if I can tap into that side of myself. But yeah, definitely. I think that I have a lot of versatility in terms of what I can write and what I can perform. So I'm definitely going to try to find any way and avenue to explore that and to show that off as well.
Well, I'm from Belize, and our, main dish there is rice and beans. So I love the diversity. You should delve into that. What about you, Max?
There's no way I'm gonna get this one, so I'm just not. Yes, for sure. I listen to like everything except for like country music, basically. But I'm not.
Isn't that like the thing to say? I feel like
that is kind of the thing to say. But I do pride myself in listening to just about everything, and just the fact I feel like since I'm like able to, express myself a lot of different ways on the guitar, I should take advantage of that and make I have a massive love for blues music. So in my last show a couple nights ago, I played a blues song during a folk set just because I really wanted, just because I love that type of stuff. So I definitely want to dabble in some sort of blues and soul influenced stuff, and then also hopefully at some point some sort of like instrumental psychedelic music as well. I'm really into that stuff. So.
Have you ever tripped?
Oh, I'm not going to answer that question, but no, I have not. But very impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not going to get this one, but yeah, I do want to dabble for sure.
Well, it was amazing having you guys here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
I have a song coming out. Oh, did it stop? No, we're still going. I have a song coming out on April 8th. It's called Hold On. It's my first song on Spotify.
Woo!
Stream that shit. And if you're in Boston, I'm playing a show that night and also playing guitar that same night for my friend Steve. So
Very cool.
It's a venue called Greylock. Follow me on Instagram for the address.
I'll be there.
Thank you.
All right.